Okay, so let me now introduce you, class, to what is called the definite integral. Okay? So, before, yung mga sinusolve natin is indefinite integral. Indefinite because, diba, take note, before wala tayong a and b, meron lang tayong integral of f of x dx. But, wala to, class. Kapag ganito lang siya, class, this is indefinite. Okay? Kasi yung result natin, diba, take note, is not exact. So far, yung nasolve pa lang natin na definite integral is yung sa Wallace formula. Remember sa Wallace, diba, sa Wallace meron tayong from 0 to pi over 2. Diba, meron siyang ganito, a to b. So, that is an example of definite. Okay, so now let me introduce you properly to definite integral. So, yung mga definite integral, class, these are integrals, kaya nga meron pa rin siyang integral sign, pero meron siyang lower limit, which is a, and upper limit, which is b. Okay, you can read this as the integral of f of x between limits a and b. Pwede siyang ganon. Or pwede din naman siyang the definite integral of f of x from a to b. Pwede ganon. Okay, that's how we read it. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin yan? By the way, hindi pala. Ano ba yung equivalence nito? Okay, so, itong definite integral natin, class, pwede siyang ganito. Anong man-notice nyo? You can have here your negative sign kapag binaliktad mo yung limits niya. Pwede mong ibaliktad yung limits provided mag-introduce ka ng negative sign. Okay? Interchanging the limits changes the sign of the integral. Not really, changes the sign of the integral kasi if you are changing the limit. For this one, ano naman ang ibig sabihin nito, class? Tingnan nyo. Meron na tayong additional na c. Okay, kumbaga yung limit natin, class, na from a to b, binroken down natin siya, ginawa natin dalawa. Okay, so, instead na from a to b ka, meron ka ng from a to c, f of x dx, plus the integral of c to d. Take note, class, itong dalawa, the same to, kasi continuation yan siya kung titignan mo. And in total, meron ka pa din namang a, sorry, this is b. Meron ka pa din namang a to b. Okay? So, the interval of integration, the interval of integration may be broken to any number of subintervals and the integration performed over each interval separately. So, pwede mo siyang i-integrate separately. Okay? Pwede mo siyang i-broken down into piece. For this one, ano namang bago dito? Merong, again, dito sa first meron tayong negative na na-introduce provided pag binaliktad mo to. Dito sa third class, it makes no difference. Meron na tayong z class. It makes no difference sa z class. Sinasabi dito that it makes no difference what letter is used for the variable of integration. Okay? So, the definite integral of a given integrand is independent of the variable of integration. It doesn't matter kung anong variable of integration mo. Pwedeng z, pwedeng f na nga to, wag na. Pwedeng, any variable will do. Okay? So, that is our definite integral. We'll have specific examples. So, this is our first example for the definite integral. So, we have here the integral from limits 1 to 2 of x to the 4 dx. Okay? So, simple lang naman yung definite integral, class. Ano? That is just normal lang na integration and then papasok lang natin itong limit natin. That would be upper minus lower. Okay? So, to do this, class, this is now, first, integrate muna natin siya ng normal lang. Okay? But parang madilim. Wait. Sige. So, x to the 4 class, ito yung ating u, diba? Yung du niya is dx, so, normal lang to. Andito naman yung derivative niya, so we could just perform power formula. And for power formula, that is just x to the, that is 4 plus 1, 5. Tapos ibaba natin dito, class. Okay? And since this is, this could be the final answer na sana, class, kapag indefinite siya. Okay? But since definite to, class, don't forget your limit. That is from 1 to 2. Okay? And to do that, ako personally, nilalabas ko muna yung constant. So, I have here 1/5. And then, we are left with x to the 5th. Oh, sige na nga, isulat ko na. Ayun. Okay. So, Kung makikita nyo, ang weird naman ma'am, pwede naman diretso na lang, pwede siyang diretso, hindi ko na ilabas si 1/5, pero kapag simple pa kasi to class, pagka complex na yung problem, mas maganda na nilalabas mo yung constant, and then tinitira itong ating x sa loob, tapos doon natin isa-substitute yung limit. Okay? Mas magandang maging habit niyo siyang ganun. So, we have here 1/5. Ipasok na natin si upper limit class. So, we have upper na 2 to the 5th minus yung lower limit na 1 to the 5th. Okay? So, ganun lang class. And then, algebra na siya. Just simplify this one. So, we have 1/5. 2 to the 5th would be, calculator na, 32. This is 32 minus 1 to the 5th is just 1. So, we have 1/5 times 32 minus 1, that's 31. And this is now 31 over 5. This is our final answer. Okay? So, para idea ng definite integral class, so halimbawa, ito yung ating graph. Halimbawa lang hindi ko sasabing ito yung graph, kasi linear to. Halimbawa, ito yung graph ng ating x to the 4. Okay? Tapos, meron tayong limit na 1 to 2. This is 1. So, for example, this is 2. Diba sabi sabi natin sa introduction, yung integral class, diba that's just the area? Okay, kinukuha mo yung area. Tapos, kapag ka-indefinite siya class, kapag walang boundary, wala siyang exact answer kasi hindi infinite yung area niya kasi it could extend pa, diba, yung ating graph. Infinite yung area niya. Whereas, kapag may limit tayo class, sinabi natin, kunin mo yung area, i-integrate mo si x4, or kunin mo yung area under the graph ni x4 from 1 to 2. X is 1 to 2. So, nilalagay mo siya ng boundary class, which makes it possible na makuha yung exact area under this graph. Okay? So, ibig sabihin class, ito pala, ito na yung solve mo. Assuming ito yung graph ha, hindi ko sinasabing ito yung graph. So, kaya exact yung answer natin class sa definite integral kasi merong boundary. We can get the area. Okay? Now, sa indefinite, pag walang limit class, di ba in terms of x yung sagot natin, di ba hanggang dito lang tayo dapat kapag walang limit. Di ba hindi siya exact? Di ba may x pa? Kasi depende pa sa x mo. Kasi it would serve as the boundary. Okay? So that is our first example. Second example class for our definite integral. So again, normal lang siya. Okay? So for this, we can distribute pwede natin i-distribute C integral sign. So we now have, para mas simple siya, i-distribute na natin. So we now have 0 to 1, that is y to the 4, i-distribute na din natin si dy. Kasi diba may property na ganito si integral, ang integration. So we have, for the second one, this is 0 to 1, y cube dy. Ayun. So we can now integrate this one by one. Again, power formula lang din siya class. So, this one, yung u natin, yung du natin is this one. Diba? Derivative. Power formula is only applicable kapag yung ito, y natin, derivative niya is ito. Okay? And since nasatisfy niya, diretso na tayo. This is just n plus 1, diba? So, this becomes 5. Tapos, ibaba natin si n plus 1, 5 din yan. Okay? So, before, ito na yung final answer natin. But since meron na tayong limit class, we will not forget yung ating limit na from 0 to 1. Okay? Ito naman kabila, this is y, derivative niya is dy lang naman. So, diretso na tayo power formula. That is just y, n plus 1, that is 4. Ibaba si n plus 1, that is 4. Again, before, ito na sa yung final answer. But since may limit tayo, we have from 0 to 1. Okay? So, what I like to do, class, nilalabas ko yung constant. I have here 1/5 times y to the 5th. Tapos, iniiwan ko yung y dito, class. Kasi dito natin ipapasok mamaya yung limit natin from 0 to 1. Okay? So, 1/4. Iwan yung my variable na y to the 4. Yung limit natin na from 0 to 1. Okay? Again, ma-appreciate itong nilalabas yung constant kapag ka-complex na yung given. Pero kapag ka ganito, okay lang naman na hindi ilabas. Pero para lang masanay tayo, nilalabas ko yung constant. So, I have here 1/5. Okay? Tapos, itong mga limit natin class, upper, lagay mo siya dito. Minus, lower, lagay mo siya dito. Okay? So, yung upper natin is 1. Susulat ko yung 1. That's raised to the 5th. minus yung lower natin class, which is 0. That's raised to the 5th. Ganun lang class. And then, algebra na siya. Yung kabila naman, this is 1/4. Y to the 4 class, upper limit, pasok mo. So, that is 1 raised to the 4. Minus lower limit class, this is 0 raised to the 4. Simplify class, this is just 1/5 times. Yung loob nito class, this is 0 na. This one is 1. Minus 1/4. Yung loob nito class is 1 raised to 4 is 1 minus 0, that is 1. So this is just 1/5 minus 1/4. 1/5 minus 1/4 is equal to negative 1/20. Check na natin. 1/5 minus 1/4, negative 1/20. Okay? Okay, so we will now try to solve double integrals. So for double integrals, it's what makes it double, of course, is you have here your double integral sign, diba? So you have here your first integral, your second of x squared y squared dx dy. Okay, now to do this double integral, to simplify this one, first you need to focus on the inner integral. Focus ka muna dito. Okay, ito siya class, partner sila ni dx. So, as if I can write here, parang ganito, imaginary, and then I'm just gonna try to integrate first itong sa loob, and then after that, dito naman sa labas. Okay, now question, ma'am, I will integrate dito sa loob. This is in terms of dx. Ibig sabihin yung variable natin dito would be x. Now, we have here y. What are we going to do with y? Yung y class, we can just treat it as parang constant lang siya. Okay, so let's do this. So, I'm gonna write first. I-write ko lang tong 0 to 2. And then, what would be the integral of this one? Class, this is held constant. Kasi sorry, ito pala. This is held constant because we're integrating in terms of x. Alright? So, susulat ko lang yung y squared. And then, this is power formula class. So, this is just x cubed. Kasi that's 2 plus 1 over 3. And then class, this is what do you call this? Definite integral. So i-employ ko lang class. I'm gonna write here the limit 0 to 1. Babalik ko lang ulit yung bracket natin class, and I'm gonna write dy, this one. Okay? So simplify lang muna sa loob class. Huwag mo nang isipin yan sa labas. So this is 0 to 2. Then this now becomes, how do we implement this? Based on our previous example class, this is just yung constant. Sige, labas na natin tong constants. Okay. Now, this becomes upper minus lower. So, this is 1 cube minus 0 cube. This is dy. I-write ko lang ulit class. Simplifying this becomes 1. Okay. So, this is just simply y squared over 3. This is dy. Class, this is now, we are now ito na lang natira, and we are now integrating in terms of dy, and we now have here y, so para simple lang siya. So, i-write ko lang class, tanggalin ko lang pong bracket, this becomes 0 to 2, y squared over 3, dy. Okay? Lagyan ko lang ng equal sign. And normal integration na lang siya class. This is now power formula class, so we have y over 3, yung 3 times itong ating 3. And then yung ating limit from 0 to 2. And then this is now equal to y cubed over 9, yung limit natin from 0 to 2. Continue ako dito class. This is now equal to yung ating susulat ko lang yung 9, tapos ipapasok na natin to ating limit. So this is now 2 cube minus 0 cube. So this becomes 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. This is now 8 over 9. And this is our final answer. So we have here our example number 2 for double integral. So for this, again, pagka-double siya class, kahit triple class, kahit quadruple, kahit ilang integral, ganun pa rin yung process. Okay? So basta unahin mo yung inner integral mo, itong yung dy. So unahin mo siya, partner sila nitong first integral sign mo. Simplify mo yung loob, saka mo implement yung sa labas. Okay? Kasi class dy to, so dy yung variable, yung x natin, tsaka 9, yun ay constant lang. Okay? So, let's solve this one. So, this is 1 over 3. 1 to 3 integral from limit 1 to 3. Isusulat ko lang. Tapos, ilabas ko tong constant class. So, this is 9 x cubed integral from limits 2 to 4 y square dy dx. Okay, class, sinulat ko lang para hindi tayo malito, para alam na natin na constant si x, held constant, treated as constant class. So we now have this y cube na lang, y square na lang. Okay? So we're writing this one. 9x cube. Class integral ng y square would be power formula y cube over 3. This is from limits 2 to 4. And of course, yung ating dx. I-write ko ulit itong integral from limits 1 to 3. Ito class, simplify ko. Itong 9, divide ko na sa 3, ano? So, meron na akong 3x cube. Tapos, yung ating limit class, i-implement ko na. So, we have upper limit na 4, that's cube, minus yung lower limit na 2, that's cube. And dx. And then class, simplify lang natin ito sa loob ng bracket. Then proceed na tayo sa outer integral. So for this, we have 3x cubed times, what would be the answer? X cubed minus 2 cubed, 56. This is 56 dx. Okay? Nailabas ko lang yung constant class. So, I have 56 times 3. That would be 168. 56 times 3. Mga ulit yan. 168. So, ilabas ko si 168. So, that's the limit integral from 1 to 3. We have here x cubed dx. Class, nire-write ko lang to. Ha? So, we now have dx. Ibig sabihin yung variable natin ay integrate would be x. Okay? So, class, normal integration na lang siya, di po ba? So, this is 168. Integral ng x cube would be power formula x to the 4 over 4 plus yung limit natin na 1 to 3. Okay? So, this is equal to, write ko lang siya, class, itong 168 over 4. Yung limit natin, class, upper, yung x, papasok natin yung limit. Okay? So, upper is 3, so this is 3, this is 4 to the power 4, minus yung lower na 1 to the 4. And this is equal to 168 divide 4, we have 42, times 3 to the 4 class, minus 1, we have 80. 80 times 42, we have 3360. So, this is our final answer. Okay? So, this one class is equal to 3,360.